Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I am fantastic. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I don't know about fantastic, but I'm good, and it's a Monday. So, you got that going for you. If you're doing good on a Monday, that's almost as good as being fantastic.
There you go.
A University of Minnesota study found that kids who eat breakfast are less likely to be overweight. So, kids, eat your breakfast. Listen to mom and dad.
We've known that forever.
Oh, have we?
I mean, they've been saying that since we were little kids. You have to eat breakfast because you eat a heavy breakfast, a slightly lighter lunch, and then an even lighter supper. We've known that our whole lives.
It's not how I do it, though.
It's a new study.
New study from University of
Breaking
Minnesota.
news.
Hey, speaking of eating, coming up later in the program, I'm going to be visiting with Dr. David Magnano, and we're going to be talking about eating and talking about how to get over the barbecue bulge. So if you're maybe packing on a couple of pounds because of barbecue, or if you're getting maybe indigestion from all the cooking out this summer, he's got some ideas on things you should pair with that food to make it a little better on your tummy.
There you go.
So that's good stuff. And one last thing here. In Ohio, a cow escaped from a slaughterhouse and was finally captured after 11 days being on the run.
Oh.
That was quite the escapade for that cow. So he was going to the slaughterhouse. I don't know if they took him back to the slaughterhouse. They should have just let him live out his days in a field somewhere because
That's too bad.
11 days on the run. That's nuts. All right, coming up, we're going to find out what special things are happening today. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, June 13th, and in big, bold, all caps letters, it says none today.
Oh.
I had to do some searching to find something because the service that I get my special days from had nothing listed.
All right.
Well, the good news is, a few years ago, I found a list of at least one thing for every single day of the year because it was always a reason to party, reason to
Okay,
celebrate.
so what is today?
Today is National Juggling Day.
Ah.
So there you go. I always thought it would be fun to learn how to juggle. I can juggle two things.
That's not juggling.
It's not really juggling. It's just throwing things in the air and catching them. I never really could do the whole three juggling thing. The juggling three thing. I tried it. I even had a friend that's a really good juggler try to teach me, and he gave up. He's like, "Yeah, this is not working." So I can juggle one item. That's not juggling
either.
All right. Well, that's what you can celebrate today. Celebrate by juggling.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. The Vatican has said no to the internet, at least when it comes to confessions. It is amazing what you can do on the internet these days. You can plan a vacation.
Oh my gosh.
You can work on a report for work or for school. You can shop for all kinds of things, even food.
I'm going to text in my confession really quick.
Unfortunately, there are numerous ways to sin online. I'm not going to even delve into that because there's a ton of stuff. But
that's hilarious.
Can you get those sins forgiven online? Well, the Vatican says no.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
You have to come in and speak in person.
According to the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church is going to rule out giving online confessions.
Of course. That is the most ridiculous thing
In fact,
I've ever
they've
heard.
gone so far as to say that online confessions will never happen. So they're saying, we're not saying no for now, we're saying no forever. That's just not going to happen. So there you go. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Sometimes it's best to look in the mirror first before, grabbing some aspirin for your headache. A Russian man woke up with a headache after a heavy night of drinking, and he found a kitchen knife stuck in his face.
Oh!
Yeah. He'd been invited to a friend's place for a drink. Well, ended up going to bed early after telling his friend he was tired of hearing him moan. He woke up later that night with a splitting headache, went to the bathroom to get a glass of water. That's when he noticed a knife sticking out of his face. After calling an ambulance, the knife was removed. Took 40 minutes. He'll escape with a small scar on his face. Police have confirmed they found his friend's fingerprints on the knife.
Yeah, apparently his friend didn't like being called a moaner.
Would you quit moaning? I'm trying to go to sleep. Yeah, I'll quit moaning, all right. Yeah. Stab you in the face. That happened in Russia.
Boy.
So, there you go.
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy. That's what happens.
that escalated quickly.
When your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Cutbacks and layoffs are never fun, but they can be kind of funny, sadly. In 2006, Walker's Potato Chips, a Pepsi-owned British potato chip company, laid off 250 employees. Now, laying off 250 workers at one time doesn't take a genius, unless, of course, you consider that the person who did the laying off still has his job. But the true moment of does in the details of the firings. Each person who was fired received a nice parting gift from his ex-employer. Guess what he got?
What's that?
A bag of potato chips.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, this is Walker's Potato Chips. Happened 10 years ago. But when I was reading this story, I thought that was kind of interesting. And by now, hopefully everybody is okay and got another job and all of that.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I would
been
hope
10
so.
years.
The economy's pretty rough here. It's a British company, so that happened overseas. So I was thinking, how weird is it that, sorry, we're going to have to let you go, but the good news is you can pick any bag of potato chips. Only one. One per person. Any one of those. No, not those. I wanted those. But any other one of those bags of potato chips. All right, there you go. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Cumberland, Maine. A girl got the surprise of a lifetime when she heard from a fisherman in Spain. So from Maine to Spain, that's how far her message in a bottle traveled. She tossed this bottle into the Atlantic Ocean 3 years ago. Tara Gallo, who's now 14, was visiting her aunt who lives in a secluded island in, where was she at? Mohegan Island? I'm not sure where that is. Anyway, she was there in 2013. They decided to put 10 messages in 10 bottles and toss them into the ocean. Let's see where they turn up. Well, years had passed. The family kind of forgot about the bottles until a familiar letter arrived in the mail this last week. The bottle had traveled more than 3,200 miles before being found by a fisherman in Spain. How cool is that? I've got a link to that story, by the way, at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Staff at a post office in Sweden, it's got the name here, but I'm not even going to try it. They called police after discovering a package was behaving mysteriously. Something inside seemed to be alive. Well, guess what was in there? A bunch of cockroaches.
Ew, yeah.
We had a story not too long ago about something like this. Weren't there rats in a package for a snake? This guy was feeding cockroaches to his snake.
Oh, my God.
It was snake chow. That's what it was. Hey, Czech Republic's Prague Zoo has come up with a new use for elephant dung. They're making paper out of it. Yuck. That doesn't even sound good. They joined forces with a paper mill to process some manure paper. They say it's a 420-year-old paper mill recipe. They make all kinds of things, but new to them, elephant dung paper. So, yeah, hopefully there's no envelopes, because if you have to lick that, yuck.
Yuck.
If you're trying to decide between oatmeal or a bowl of cornflakes, researchers say go with the oatmeal. Study participants ate less at lunch if they had oatmeal for breakfast. Legal marijuana sales are forecast to hit $23 billion in the next 4 years, Heidi.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a whole lot in the states that have legalized that. Computer programmer had his account canceled by Amazon UK because he returned 37 items. Guess how many he bought?
How many did he buy?
Thought you'd never ask. 343.
Whoa.
Bought 343 items, returned 37, got his account canceled by Amazon UK.
I see.
So they must have a pretty strict cancellation policy. Americans tend to gain weight as they get older, but a new study finds that the quality of their diet generally improves at the same time. So they're saying as you get older, even though you're gaining more weight, you tend to eat better as well. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's not happening at our house.
No, we eat worse. Or are you talking about the weight gain, or what are you talking about?
I'm talking about our eating habits are not improving with our age.
Hey, recent research powerfully strengthens the case against soda and other sugary drinks. huge decade-long study involving 33,000 Americans yielded a clear proof that drinking sugary beverages will actually interact with genes that we have built into us to amplify your risk of obesity. So they're saying it's not just that, it's your genes plus that. Meanwhile, a provocative study suggests a connection between the BPA chemical used in food packaging and childhood obesity. So they're saying, hey, even the packaging is going to make us fat now. A final story for you, Heidi.
All righty.
A report published in an issue of the American Journal of Preventive Medicine. I like to sit around and read those. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you
I
do.
don't
All
really.
the time.
Well, they recap the daily non-work, non-sleep activities of 80,000 American adults, split them up based on relative intensities, like sedentary, light, moderate, and vigorous. 5% of people evaluated got any vigorous activity, like running or biking or strength training, in a given day. Along with phone calls, television, and reading, and snack preparation, those ranked the highest on the list of preferred daily activities. So watching TV, reading, preparing a snack. 80% of Americans engage in daily TV watching. Only 25% spent time actually cooking. The others just apparently ate food that was already cooked. Yet another startling statistic, the research found 78% of Americans reported spending time washing, dressing, and grooming oneself. So they count that as daily exercise.
Yeah, I don't think that.
What kind of exercise
probably
regimen you have?
counts.
Well, I wash and dress and groom myself. Does that count?
That does not count.
Probably not. Thanks for listening. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got Father's Day coming up, doing a lot of barbecuing, and we've got a guest today that's going to be talking about some of the things for beating the barbecue bloat. Some tips from Dr. David Magnano. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're always glad to chat with you. We've talked to you in the past, but this is the first time we've talked about this particular topic. I know this time of year, a lot of folks going to be throwing things on the grill and enjoying a little bit of time outdoors, and you've got some tips to help us have some trouble-free tummies during barbecue season, don't you?
I do, absolutely. There's some simple tips that we can do to just make it that much smoother.
What are some of the most important things to remember?
Well, basically, barbecue bloat or any bloat, even after Thanksgiving or a big holiday meal or any large meal, is a sign that your body is struggling with digestion. So it's not breaking down the food properly. And we know that proteins, like the beef and the chicken and the pork, are by far the most difficult things to digest. So what we need to really help break down those foods is digestive enzymes. And it's nice that nature has put enzymes in any food that we eat, but when we heat the food over 118 or 119 degrees, it kills off the enzyme. So the best way to approach, say, a barbecue is if you have your protein source first, your beef or pork or your chicken, and then if you can, right after that, have some raw fruits and vegetables. Have a salad, maybe there's a bowl of pineapple or something like that. And you have that because then you get all the digestive enzymes from those raw fruits and vegetables that will help to break down the protein source. And by doing that, it eliminates the stress on the digestive system, and you don't have the bloat or the side effects of that.
So is there a specific fruit or vegetable that's really, really good for this?
Well, pineapple and papaya have a powerful enzyme called bromelain, which in some cases is used as a meat tenderizer, but it's very helpful for breaking down any protein source. And so that's a very good thing to have at a barbecue, papaya or pineapple. But basically, if you add raw fruits and vegetables to the meal, you're going to get a combination, a good source of digestive enzymes. And we've been playing with digestion now for 15 to 18 years with a variety of different conditions. Even in our medical department, we help diabetic patients and patients with heart disease by improving their digestion. It helps whatever medical treatment or protocol that they're dealing with. So what we found is that if we can add digestive enzymes, We like the product called Absorbaid. It comes from a company called Nature Sources. And I think in today's lifestyle, people are running and rushing and gulp-and-go lifestyle and all that, and they're not actually getting the raw fruits and vegetables that are needed to help break down the foods. So we just add that Absorbaid to their meal, and it helps break down the foods, and then they don't have the digestive disorders, the bloat, the gas, possibly the reflux, or any of those digestive issues.
Again, visiting right now with health educator Dr. David Magnano. Now, with the barbecue season upon us, usually, you've almost always got something on the grill like a steak or a burger or hot dogs or whatever. But, one of the best parts of barbecue is also when people bring desserts. So now, how long after eating the steaks and burgers should I wait before I have the dessert as well?
Well, in an ideal setup, you'd wait about 20 minutes. So the sequence would be you'd have the steak or the burger or, the ribs or the chicken, anything like that. And then if you can have some raw fruits and vegetables, those raw fruits and vegetables will actually break down the protein source that you just had. Then after that, you could have any other vegetables you want, cooked corn or whatever, and then you can have your dessert. So you don't really have to wait, but in an ideal situation, if you feel some digestive disturbance, if you wait about 20 minutes after you have your steak, you should be in good shape.
Now, you were talking a little bit ago about Absorbaid. Where do you find something like that? Is that something I find at just a supermarket, or where do I find that?
No, you actually get it directly from Nature Sources, and there's a website, www.naturesources.com. And one of the things that our patients love about working with Nature Sources is if you go on the website or you call the 1-800 number, they'll actually send you some samples.
Oh, nice.
And what I suggest everybody start with is Absorbaid, because it's just a combination of ground-up fruits and vegetables, high potency of enzymes. There's no downside if patients are on medications or anything like that. It's an all-natural thing. And they'll send you some samples, and you can, within a meal or two or three, notice a change or a difference in how you're processing your food. And then one of the other things that we've just started to learn over the past couple of years, our food nowadays is so loaded with, pesticides and waxes and altered hormones and GMO, all this different stuff, which are really pretty tough on the body. They're considered toxic to the body. And the other thing that we've learned about using digestive enzymes is not only does it break down the good quality food, the vitamins, the minerals, the proteins, the stuff we want to pull out of the food, and to pull it out of the food, it's got to be broken down, and that's where the digestive enzymes come into play. But what we're finding as a side effect to that, in addition to breaking down the good quality food, it actually breaks down the toxin and allows those toxins to be excreted as they should be. And one of the side effects when somebody's eating a lot of toxins is they'll have swelling, they'll have inflammation. And this just disrupts everything. It causes digestive symptoms. And an arthritic patient, it makes matters worse. In somebody that has diabetes or heart disease, the inflammation always works against them. So one of the side effects of actually using a good quality digestive enzyme is not only breaking down the food that you should be getting, the good quality stuff, but it also helps the body to get rid of the toxins, which are truly poisons to the body, and then they alter the way the systems work. And so that may even be a bigger benefit than just breaking down the food, but we haven't really determined that yet. But it's a really nice side effect because it eliminates a lot of the swelling that comes from having toxins in our system.
While we were talking, I clicked onto the website, and it popped up and said, would you like some free samples? So I'm going to give that website for anybody listening that might be interested in that. The website is naturesources.com, and there are two S's next to each other there. So naturesources.com, and I see the toll-free number, 800-827-7656. And again, free samples available there. That's really cool that they do that. Dr. Magnano, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us. And I know with this time of year, with all the barbecues and cookouts, I know this is going to be information that people will absolutely appreciate, too.
Yes, well, it's an exciting time of year. And if we can improve the digestion a bit, it'll be that much easier for all of us. But I know it is an exciting time of year.
Yeah, thanks for chatting with us. And I'm sure we'll reach out again when we get close to another event on the calendar where we like to eat. And it seems like in our country we have a lot of those, don't we?
We do have a lot of those. That's a good thing, I think.
So as long as we keep doing that, you're always going to have people calling you getting advice.
Yeah, Yeah, that's great. Well, I enjoyed talking with you, so I look forward to coming back.
Thank you, Dr. Magnano. Have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Again, Dr. David Magnano, he's a health educator, and I'm going to give you that website if you're just tuning in. They have free samples available of a product that we were talking about here that helps in digestion. Again, it's called Absorb Aid, and the website is naturessources.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A recent study says Friday is the day most people get fired. Oh, that reminds me. I need to talk to you on Friday. Just kidding. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Avengers was the first British show to ever air on a U.S. network during prime time's fall schedule.
Really?
So the Avengers. There have been a lot of British shows that made it here, but apparently not in prime time on a U.S. network, because I've seen a lot of other British shows. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Rolling Stones magazine debuted on November 9th, 1967. That's how long that Rolling Stone's been out. And our final fun fact for you, a guy that I met, Fabio, was promoting a roller coaster ride when he got smacked in the face with a bird that was flying by. Do you remember when that happened?
I do remember.
That was awful. I was once confused for, well, not really. Yeah. I was standing at the counter at a hotel checking in New York, and a lady got off the elevator and said, "Oh, it's Fabio." And she points right, I thought, at me. And I was like, she's way off. And I look at the guy next to me. I'm like, oh, it's Fabio. I was like, it really was Fabio. I thought she thought I was Fabio, but clearly not.
You were so disappointed.
I was so disappointed. All right. Thanks for listening to a couple of fun facts for you.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thanks for listening on a Monday. It is the John and Heidi Show. We're here all the time on Mondays. We hope to be here forever on Mondays. We like that. But people don't like Mondays. Have you ever noticed that? Mondays are not typically someone's favorite day. They actually can be hazardous for your health, Heidi.
Really?
You can take some stress out of the day and actually start the work week feeling good with a little bit of help from famed psychologist Dr. Robert Butterworth. I don't know about him, but his mother makes good pancakes. Mondays are so stressful, he says, they can be life-threatening. The highest proportion of workplace injuries happen today on Mondays. He says Mondays are also characterized by an increase in the on-the-job heart attacks.
Whoa.
And here are some tips from Dr. Butterworth to get you sailing instead of slumping on your work days on Mondays. So, number one tip, Heidi, don't stay out late Sunday night. Get a little more sleep. You'll be better at Mondays. Next, take a look at how you spend your weekend. If you're exhausted because you didn't have any leisure time, maybe that's the problem. Next, they say make sure you get some exercise on the weekend. So don't relax too much.
You just can't do anything right.
They say avoid heavy, fatty foods on Sunday night, and you'll have a better Monday. Try to wrap up your projects on Friday if you can, so you don't make it back to work with a giant pile of work on your desk. Allow extra time to get ready Monday mornings. That'll help have your Monday a little better as well. Next, don't overschedule your Mondays. Try to push your deadlines on different days. Next, plan as few chores as possible for Monday nights. So if you do Monday night laundry, try to switch that up to a different day. Line up a pleasant social activity for Monday, something you enjoy. So meeting up with friends or whatever. And then finally, they say make sure you eat breakfast Monday morning. And then you'll have a better Monday, midday, and afternoon.
Well, there you go. Those are some nice tips.
Couple of tips to help you get through this
Don't have a heart
Monday.
attack at work.
No, you don't want that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this.
My life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
Well, the summer blockbuster movie season is upon us, Heidi, and Hollywood's already starting to roll them out. How do you know which ones are going to be good and which ones are going to be bad?
You don't until you go and
the
sit
studio,
through it.
believe it or not, the studio drops big hints if you know what to look for. If the studios don't screen a movie for critics, it's not good. If a movie comes out in the dead of winter, late summer, or early fall, it's probably lousy. Those are usually dumping grounds for bad films. Another bad sign is if you don't see the stars of TV plugging the film. That's because they want to distance themselves from it. So if you don't see them on, the Late Show or the Tonight Show or the Tomorrow Show or the Next Week Show or whatever those things are called these days, and then they want to distance themselves from the stinky movie. And a good sign is if the movie gets a sneak peek for audiences, that means the studio is confident the public will like it even if critics don't. So if there's a sneak peek, that's them saying, hey, we think it's going to be good. You should go check it out, and then tweet out and Facebook out and tell your friends.
Tweet out.
Twitter or your friends, I don't know, whatever. Let them know how good it is. So there's some little tips for the Hollywood blockbusters and Hollywood stinkers.
John and Heidi.
All right, if you've ever been a kid, you've probably heard this excuse. Well, the dog ate my homework. You've heard that at least once. Have you ever had anybody try that when you were a kid?
No.
You didn't?
No, it was a
Oh.
cliche, but
Yeah,
nobody
well-
ever said, oh, my dog did it.
It's because so many people said it that became a cliche. But that excuse doesn't work for all situations, a Scottish man is finding out. He was on house arrest, and he blamed his dog for eating through his electronic tag on his
You know
ankle.
how long that would take? He would have had to have sat there and let his dog gnaw on it forever.
This is not the first time this man's dog has caused problems. This dog has been in trouble. He's been the culprit before. The 24-year-old man says his hound hopped on his lap and caused a car accident, which, by the way, was the reason he was under
Hey.
house arrest in the first place.
I'm sorry, but that can happen.
It can happen, because that happened to you.
That happened to me.
Did
Not
you
an
get a-
accident. but
Did you hit a car or something?
No.
What happened?
I was turning a corner, and my dog decided to jump over on my lap, and I went up over the curb and into their lawn and honking the horn really loud. And these people come to their window and look out. I'm sitting in the middle of their yard honking my horn. And just drove away. I'm like, okay.
Just wanted to say hi.
That was so embarrassing.
My dog and I wanted to tell you hello.
But no, I didn't get in an accident. Nothing was hurt.
For a second there, I thought a foul might have happened. All right, coming up, if you're heading to the pool, I got some disturbing news for you. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
'Tis the season to go to the public pool, Heidi. This is when
Alrighty.
people go
I
swimming.
love the swimming
Welcome
pool.
to summertime. I'm going to sneak a little statistic in here for you. 1 in 5 adults pee in the pool. How do they know this?
They probably just ask. People are pretty honest. They probably did a survey. Yeah, I pee in the pool. Yeah, I do. I
bet Grandpa Charlie does it.
Oh, I know Grandpa Charlie does
He
it.
does it from standing outside of the pool, though.
No, I know that they go to Cancun and he'll sit at that bar in the pool for hours and hours and
He
hours.
has to pee every 3 minutes.
Exactly. So you know he's going to the bathroom in the pool.
So how would you ever know? Well, they say check your eyes. If you get red eyes in the pool, that's associated with a thing called chloramine. It's a chemical created when urine combines with
Ew.
chlorine. The chlorine in the pool is there to protect you from this. Anyway, it gets better. The study also found that 70% of us don't shower before entering a pool, which spreads many diseases, according to the CDC. So have fun at the pool today, kids. A quick 30-second shower will remove dirt and sweat and sunscreen before you dive in and spread all that to everybody else. So,
But you need your sunscreen.
okay, I don't wear sunscreen, and I don't wear bug spray. That's one of the things that you and I disagree on. She's always, okay, we're going, hang on, I'm going to spray you. And you're like, spray my face, spray my arms. I'm like, just let me be. You spray me all over the place, and I still have the same problems. I don't like this. I'll just stay in the shade if it's okay.
Fine, I'll let you be eaten alive
There you
and
go.
die of skin cancer.
I get the Zika virus. All right. Anyway, again, the statistic 1 in 5 adults admit to peeing in the pool. And that means it's probably more like
It's more
3
more
in 5
than that.
adults
If 1
really
in
do
5
it.
say, yeah, I do.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. I think this is kind of a heart-wrenching, touching story. It's just a really neat, happy Monday kind of story for you. A Florida man who was moved by a homeless woman who has never asked him for money ever, even though he passes her every day on his way to work, said he finally found a way to help her. According to ABC News, Greg Smith wrote what is now a viral Facebook post that Amy Jo, which is the young lady that he walks by, offers him polite greetings instead of requests for money as he walks by her daily on his way to work in downtown Orlando. And it led the two to having lunch every Tuesday. So he started saying, hey, would you like to get together for lunch? So every Tuesday, he buys her lunch, which is nice. During one of those sit-downs, Amy Jo, who is homeless, told Greg Smith, who is not, that she had never learned how to read. So Greg said, now, not only do Amy Jo and I sit down and have lunch, but each Tuesday while we're having lunch, I'm helping to teach her to read as well.
Aw.
Isn't that just a great story?
That's so sweet. I love that.
I do too. And it's amazing to me, you know, we're all human beings on this planet together. Now, we might not agree with everybody, but at the end of the day, we're all still human beings. And I think looking out for each other and being there for each other is something that's really important.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean that you need to give if you can't afford to give, because if you can't, then don't. I understand that. But there are also situations where...
But there are things like this where you can
this
do...
right here. He has lunch with this lady every Tuesday, and now he's helping to teach her to read. He is going to make a positive impact on her life that's going to change the trajectory of her life forever.
That's fantastic.
I think
love
so,
that
too.
story. That's wonderful.
I do, too. If you'd like to read that, or if you'd like to get more info and see if I mispronounced anything, I get that pointed out to me once in a while. You can go to facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you again for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Bonus break brought to you by our good friends at radiosavings.com. And if you go there, you'll find a really cool lifetime membership to Front Sight Firearms Training Institute, a $15,000 value for just $3,000. That's 1/5 the regular price. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out at radiosavings.com. Again, radiosavings.com. Got a couple of stories we're going to try to get to. I know I'm not going to get to all this, so I'm going to just dive into this one. From the Crime Doesn't Pay file. 19-year-old Glenn Germain Jr. of Warrensburg, New York, thought he'd beat the high cost of gasoline by stealing some. He'd been smart. He might have actually just bought the gas. He was not smart. He decided to check how his gasoline siphoning effort was going by lighting a match to take a look. Ensuing a blaze, destroying the forklift, and giving him fourth-degree burns. So he apparently was stealing this from a forklift. He got forked all right. You can bet Juan Catalan will never let his HBO subscription expire. He just won $320,000 from the city of Los Angeles to settle his lawsuit over having been jailed for 5 months way back in 2003 for a murder that he could not have committed. Juan maintained all along that he had been at a Dodgers baseball game at the time of the crime with his 6-year-old daughter. Police never bought it. It wasn't until Juan's lawyer discovered that HBO had a show called Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, I love that show.
I do too. They'd been filming at Dodger Stadium that day for an episode, pouring over time-stamped outtakes. Let me say that the right way. Pouring over time-stamped outtakes of the crowd shots. There was a scene with Juan and his daughters in the stands. So he just won. He had been jailed since 2003 for a murder charge. He just won $320,000 from the city of Los Angeles.
That's it for 5 years of his life? Doesn't that seem
Wait a
like...
minute. 2003 until now, you think is 5 years? What year is it right now, Heidi?
Oh, I thought you said he was jailed for 5 years.
Oh, did it?
I don't know. I thought that's what you said.
Having been in jail for 5 months. Okay,
Oh,
5
5
months.
Okay, well then that's adequate.
Well, I didn't even know I said that.
Neither one of us are paying attention to
Clearly
ourselves
not.
today.
I kind of wonder how old this story is then. Either way,
I think is a fair.
I bet I know which episode they were filming at the Dodger Stadium, too. There was an
Is
episode.
it the one where he took the
Carpool Lane?
Yeah. It's such a great episode.
I haven't watched that. You know what? We have to binge watch some Curb Your
Well,
Enthusiasm.
not right now.
I know we're
a little
busy today and tomorrow, but this weekend, let's just plan to veg out and do nothing. I think that'll be fun. Larry David gets himself in the weirdest predicaments. And there was an episode where he was at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if
Don't
this is the
spoil
one.
it. If you've never seen the show, you've got to start watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's the
But
best.
He
show.
wanted to take the carpool lane, and he picked up somebody to go with him, which was really kind of funny.
You have to just watch it.
There
it's a
you
good
go.
show.
And we're going to wrap up with one final story here. A man in Georgia received a speeding ticket for going 90 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. His appearance in court was somewhat amusing. The excuse he gave the judge was that he had... Your Honor, I had just taken a laxative, and I needed to get home before Mother Nature made her speedy relief. Well, he still had to pay the ticket.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, I'm sorry that you did that, sir, but you still can't go 90 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Can't do it. As much fun as that sounds. All right. Thanks for listening to our bonus break brought to you by RadioSavings.com. Go check it out. See if you can save some dough today at RadioSavings.com.